KEYC News Now to Go is sponsored by River's Edge Hospital and Clinic. People caring for people.
Moments like these make life worth living. River's Edge Hospital and Clinic is your partner in taking control of your own health. Take your steps towards a lasting tomorrow. River's Edge Hospital.
Hello, good morning and happy Monday. Thanks for joining us for this KEYC News Now to Go update. I'm Jackson Jurek. In a few minutes, I'll be joined by First Alert meteorologist Caitlin Lohr with a look at today's forecast and the week beyond. It's finals week at MSU Mankato, and students are preparing for a graduation weekend that takes place this upcoming weekend. Meanwhile, the university announced some changes coming to the school's programming. Aaron Stubbe has more.
As the school year turns over, there are changes on the horizon. Thursday, MSU Mankato informed students that they are cutting down on their program offerings from 306 to 216, a nearly 30% cut.
The programs that were in high demand, that students were enrolling in, didn't have sufficient capacity. So now we're trying to rebalance the portfolio and identify those programs that can be robust and meet student needs and meet employer needs.
While the cutting of 90 program offerings can have a bit of a sticker shock, the university says that it's more of a consolidation than an elimination, combining redundant programs into single offerings. For example, a program like History, which had both a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science program, now only has the Bachelor of Science side. Leaders at the college say that no programs are being outright cut, and that every single student that is affected by the changes has a parallel program for them to move into.
Our advisors are working with them today in orientation, and we're sending out notes to all of those students so that they know what their options and pathways are. For every program that is suspended, there are alternatives or parallel options that are available.
MSU says that students in the middle of a cut program can still finish out what they started, and the changes will save the university around $2 million. In Mankato, Aaron Stuvey, KEYC News Now.
Continuing with local news, a road closure announcement for the city of Mankato. Starting today, Victory Drive will be closed from Marwood Drive to Extension Street. Main Street will also be closed to traffic at the Victory Drive intersection. Traffic will be detoured to Hoffman Road and Highway 22 and Madison Avenue. Main Street will be detoured to Hosanna Drive, Glenwood Avenue, and Burrell Street. Motorists should expect these portions of Victory Drive and Main Street to be closed until late August of this year. In some larger news, jury selection is set to begin in the high-profile case against musician Sean Diddy Combs. Combs is facing 5 federal charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. Lee Waldman is outside the federal courthouse with what the jury selection process will look like there.
Federal prosecutors and music mogul Sean Diddy Combs' defense team will question potential jurors on their views on distribution of illegal drugs, the music industry, and people engaging in sexual relations with multiple partners, among other topics, according to court filings. The jury selection process marks the first step in the federal trial against Combs, who is facing a number of federal charges, including sex trafficking and transportation to engage in prostitution. He has pleaded not guilty to all the charges. In an unsealed federal indictment, prosecutors allege Combs and his associates used power to coerce women into sex acts and encounters known as freak-offs, dating as far back as 2008.
He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims.
Jurors are expected to hear from some of those victims, including Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, who was seen in this disturbing hotel surveillance footage being kicked and dragged by Combs back in 2016. A judge ruled this video will be shown to the jury despite numerous attempts by the defense to have it excluded.
My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Court filings from the prosecution allude to federal searches of Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami last year, where law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
Back here in the studio, Caitlin Lohr joining me at the desk to talk about the weather, and there isn't really anything to talk about because it's all just absolutely gorgeous. If you're outside this weekend, which I was, gorgeous this week, gorgeous. I think the best word to describe the upcoming week is just gorgeous.
It's fantastic. You really can't get better spring weather for the upper Midwest for this time of year. And there is a specific reason as to why we're seeing it. But the biggest thing you need to take away from this is really take advantage of it, because I'm going to tell you right now, this is a weather pattern that can set up at any time of the year, more than once throughout the year. We're going to be grateful it's now, though, because if we take this weather pattern and put it in the middle of June or July, we're talking temperatures in the 80s and 90s with triple-digit heat index values. So be grateful it's happening now. Wow. Take it by the reins and just get out there and seize the day, soak up that sunshine. Here's why we're dealing with this. This is what we call an omega block. I know it's been going around the social media and internet and things like that all through the weekend since it's been set up, and it is an actual thing. It's called an omega block. If you know the Greek alphabet, it's because in terms it does look like the capital omega letter. So that being said, what this means is you have this low pressure system here. This is a typical omega block where you have one low pressure on the eastern side of the United States, followed by a second one on the western side. And somewhere in the middle of those two is a high pressure system. So why is it causing the pattern of weather for us to be stagnant and not move? Well, it's not just us that's going to be under stagnant weather. It's anywhere in the United States right now, because this low pressure system is battling for power from this high pressure system, which means these two are battling it out for power to become the stronger pressure system. Well, it does so, they're not going to move. They're being stubborn, right? They don't want to move because they want to be stronger than the other one. So until one gets that strength, they're not going to move. Because of that, you've got this low pressure system over here that also can't move because these two over here are battling for power. So that one over there can't move until these two decide to give in to the other one, or vice versa. Or something stronger in the weather world, like a disturbance, comes in somewhere off the west coast. And what we are watching right now is a stronger disturbance to come in from Alaska, but not until next weekend. Not this weekend, next weekend, which means we have a stretch of 7 to 10 plus days of this kind of weather. Now, thankfully for us, we're under this high pressure system. To our friends and family to the southeast and southwest, they're looking at more inclement weather, cloudy skies, very dreary conditions, rain to heavy rain out there, possible flooding. And out to the southwest, high elevation snow possible within the Rockies. So I'm going to say we're grateful that this time around we're sitting under this high pressure system, because it also means little to no rain for the area. We finally get to dry out from all the rain that we have been getting, as well as above average temperatures. We should be in the mid 60s, but we're looking at 70s and 80s. Now, those that are under those low pressure systems will see the opposite in the sense of, as we talked about, the inclement weather, but also cooler than average temperatures. So, as I said, we've got these summer-like temperatures, but not full summer-like conditions in the sense that we don't have to worry about that humidity. So get out there, take advantage of these temperatures. But while you do so, Jackson, I'm looking at you. Make sure you grab that sunscreen, because we are looking at high UV index values every day this week. So you want to hydrate, you want to use that sunscreen, you want to take breaks from the heat and the sun by limiting your time outdoors or finding some shade to sit in, or going inside just for a little bit to give your skin and your body a break from both the heat and the sun. And I know it's not that hot, but your body still gets warm, especially with a high of 75 degrees today and a low of 50 degrees tonight by tomorrow morning. Now you're going to want to take advantage of tonight, because we are actually passing through, we as the Earth, passing through the orbital path of Halley's Comet, which means an increase in meteor showers from the debris from Halley's Comet. Now, you won't see the comet. We're not going to see that comet for at least another 30 to 35 years, but that doesn't mean we can't see the debris of it. So the best viewing time will be just before dawn. And on the perfect viewing conditions, you could see about 40 to 60 meteors an hour. And I will tell you right now, this morning on my drive to work, I saw one of those shooting stars, or those meteors, whichever you want to call them, and it was absolutely beautiful. It stretched across the sky and even had a small tail with it as it burned up. It was absolutely beautiful. Get out there, wake up early. I promise you it'll be worth it. Taking a look at the forecast, ditch the jackets, grab that summer clothing, enjoy the 70s and 80s.
You heard Caitlin, toss on a swimsuit, don't wear any sunscreen, and be outside as much as you can.
Wear the sunscreen and then do everything else Jackson said.
And it's Cinco de Mayo today, so maybe include a margarita or something.
And some tacos.
And some tacos. So wonderful. Thank you very much, Caitlin. We got an update in the sports world. The Minnesota State University Mankato baseball team has wrapped up their regular season over the weekend, ending with Senior Day on Saturday. Our Haley McCormick was at the game with a recap.
The Minnesota State baseball team has won 6 of their last 7 games, and this afternoon the Mavericks look to close out their regular season with a win over Southwest Minnesota State. In the first inning, Aiden Burns sends this down the left field line, Ike Mazinga gets the green light, and he's headed home. Mavericks on the board now, trailing 2-1. Second inning now, the Mavericks finding themselves in a little bit of trouble with the bases loaded, but Jacob Gadget comes up big with the strikeout to get out of the inning with no damage done. Zach Stroh gets the inning started for the Mavericks with a leadoff single, but an error is made in left field and he'll advance to second base. The Mavericks keep the line moving in the second inning. Jake Birkeland with an RBI single. MSU ties this game up at 2. MSU adds one more run in the second inning. Burns puts the ball in play, and he reaches first on an error by the shortstop. Nick Baker scores, and MSU takes their first lead of the game, up 3-2. The Mavericks go on to win this game 7-5 and finish the regular season with a 44-5 overall record. Up next for the Mavericks is the NSIC baseball tournament. That starts Wednesday in Sioux Falls.
Thank you very much, Caitlin, and thank you guys for tuning in to this KEYC News Now to Go update. Stay with KEYC News Now for the latest local news, weather, and sports on our website.
Get outside and enjoy the weather, but download the free KEYC News and Weather apps for the latest headlines and forecast.